Hello dear viewer, today we're going to talk about Dreamworks Kung Fu Panda for PlayStation 2. This game was also released on a bunch of consoles like the Wii, the PS3, and the Xbox 360. Also, I haven't been doing the rating system at the end of my videos like I used to, but I'm going to try something new at the end of this video. Tell me what you think. If you like it, we'll keep doing it. If you don't, we'll probably still keep doing it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me know. First, let's talk about who made this game, the developers. The details are a bit murky, but as far as I can tell, Lux made the game, and it was ported to the PlayStation 2 by X-Spec Entertainment. In 2008, Luxoflux was owned by Activision. You may remember them for their game True Crime Streets of LA, or perhaps their very first game, Vigilante 8. About a year or so before they shut down, they released the topic of today's video, Kung Fu Panda. X-Spec Entertainment, on the other hand, is still around. They're a Taiwanese game development team that is most well known for their work on Final Fantasy XV. They've also got a couple of MMOs under their belt. They're kind of all over the place, but they seem to be doing well for themselves. Now, let's talk about the game.
Not even the toughest of enemies were a match for his sheer bodacity.
Well, who do we have here?
I am the Dragon Warrior. Now step aside, bad guy.
I love Dragon Warrior, especially Dragon Warrior 4 and Dragon Quest Builders. Well, this isn't an RPG. It's a beat-em-up game with a combo system with a little bit of humor thrown in. Oh, it's also based off of a Dreamworks movie, but you knew that. This game has some wonderful graphics, and I'm sure this is because it was released 2.5 years after the PlayStation 3 came out. Games that are sold late in a console's lifetime tend to be some of the nicest looking as the hardware has had time to be truly understood and mastered. Having said that, there are also some problems that plagued games in the PlayStation 2 era, like bad camera angles, but let's go ahead and talk about those sweet graphics first.
The Master's reflection in the Sword of Heroes looked especially brave today.
It's him!
Not him!
Yes, him!
Oh no! Oh yes!
Oh, shut up! Let's go!
I like it when a game's cutscenes are in-game and not pre-rendered clips. It's comforting that the game already looked nice enough that the developers didn't feel the need to have flashy cartoon cutscenes or to snag clips from the movies and place them in between stages. This game looks wonderful. I'm glad we get to see as much of it as we do. Check out some of the finer details during the battles. I like these swipe tracers that follow the actions of the battle. That looks awesome. And then there's the sound. This is annoying. There are vocal clips used during the fights that repeat over and over and over. It's lame and I don't like it. But I do love the sound when our hero Po eats the healing food items. One great thing about the audio in this game is the fantastic team of voice talent. Jack Black is not here as the voice of Po, but a man named Mick Wingert fills in for the role.
Okay. I just ate. I'm still digesting, so my kung fu might not be as good as later on.
I had no idea that wasn't Jack Black while I was playing. In fact, it seems that this game may have started Mr. Wingert's voice acting career as he became the voice in the Kung Fu Panda television series after this game. Now let's jump into this game, but first let's invert the y-axis. Always invert the y-axis. We start off in this tutorial where we read some scrolls describing the moves and then you get to try them out. These scrolls continue to appear throughout the game, which is nice. Before starting a new area and later parts of the game, we get reminders about the moves that will be relevant to the areas that we're playing. If you already understand all of the moves, you can just ignore them and run right in. The battle system isn't too complicated, but the occasional reminder is nice. When we're not duking it out with martial arts bad guys, there is the platforming aspect of the game. We've got jump, double jump, and a climb feature to help us maneuver through the stages. There are some parts where you can miss items if you just smash everything in sight, so be careful while playing. Poke around a bit, find those hidden items. Oh, there's also the occasional balance beam where you have to keep your balance as you walk across. These are fun and become more difficult later in the game, forcing you to lean over further than you'd like to collect some coins. Risk versus rewards, my friends. I love it. Now up here in the top left corner we have our health and chi gauge. This sucks. It's not easy to keep track of during the game. You'll have to stop looking at the battle you're participating in to see how much health you have. Also, you have upgradable stats that will affect how much damage you take, and some enemies hit harder than others, so this meter feels unreliable. Luckily, there aren't too many areas where you'll be taking so much damage that you'll need to keep an eye on it. Over here on the left side of the screen is your awesome meter. You know, I never noticed this while I was playing the game. It was only while looking through the instruction manual while making this video that I learned what this did, or that it even existed. It fills up as you battle and increases the damage you do as this bar goes up. This would be a nice feature if the game weren't so, easy? Next we have our attacks. Square is the weak attack and triangle is the strong attack. There are running and jumping versions of both of these, and they can also be strung together certain ways, like the weak strong combo or the weak strong uppercut attacks that allow you to juggle opponents. One of the moves that I found the most fun to use was the Iron Belly counterattack. If you use your shield to block damage, then follow it with a weak attack, you'll do this fun little move. It has a nice balance and adds some depth to this otherwise shallow system. Yeah, I know I just described what sounded like kind of a complex battle system, but it's not. Just mash some buttons and you'll probably get through most of it. After completing a stage, you can spend the coins you found on upgrades for your stats and moves. You have options to make any of your moves or combos more powerful, as well as simple upgrades like increased health or chi. This was a feature that I was excited about at first, but after putting some more time into the game, I realized this whole thing felt easy. Maybe on my one playthrough of the game I allocated my points in exactly the right spots, but I don't think that's the case. I think the battles are just too simple. I only put an hour and a half into this game before I had to go grocery shopping, and when I came home I just didn't want to play anymore. During that hour and a half I made it about a third of the way through the game. It's a short one, but let's go through the 5 stages I did play. First we have Poe's Dream. It's a tutorial, so let's skip that. Stage 2 is where we help Poe break into the tournament so he can show off his kung fu skills. Or maybe he just wanted to watch. I don't know, I was ignoring the unskippable cutscenes. This area is where we get to rescue rabbits to help us control ballistas to clear off the path that we'll need to platform across. A lot of times when I see a mechanic like this, I think it's just there to slow down the player and extend the playtime a little, but in this case, it works for me. It's not some amazing new feature that every game should have, but it's a nice break from the fighting and platforming. These moments also don't overstay their welcome by becoming the entire focus of a stage. On the other hand, we do have the big bad game sin of jacked up camera problems here. For example, there's this moment where I'm trying to make it past these panda smashers and the camera suddenly swings and I fall to the ground. This sucks, and it was frustrating to get back to that spot. Also, this Coliseum is pretty serious about keeping people out if they don't have a ticket. I think they could have just hired some guards instead of installing giant mallets, but what do I know? Wait. Maybe that's who I've been fighting. Maybe they're not bad guys at all. Maybe they're just a hired team of people to keep pandas out who haven't bought a ticket. Is Poe the bad guy? You know what, I don't want to think about that. Let's just talk more about the bad camera angles. Shortly after that first blunder, we get to this spot where the camera swings out of control to the side again and drops me to the ground, and this stage is beginning to make me rage a little. But then this happens. I'm suddenly a tiger fighting a boss. Are my controls even the same? Why did I switch characters? Is this a boss fight? That's a crappy time to pull this on me. Whatever, let's just get this boss defeated. It's hard to tell what to do here, but it's not too difficult either. Dodge some attacks, wait for the chest target to pop out, hit the chest target, then get through the quick short time event. This battle is stupid, but it looks cool. This sort of looks like Shadow of the Colossus, which is a great game, but the quick time event gameplay is shallow and it's not rewarding. This didn't feel like I was playing a game, just following through with some instructions to get this segment over with. Again, it did look awesome though. This battle might be forgivable as it's easy enough for a young child to get through, but we just learned how all of the battling worked, and to ignore all of that in the first boss, it's weak sauce. They made this part of a baby game for babies. It did take me 3 tries though. Maybe I should have said that at the beginning before calling it a baby game. Next up is stage 3, where we have to go through the training rooms and beat the master's times. This is another crappy part of the game. There are obstacles like these spinning spike block things and the flamethrower traps that just feel squishy and impossible to avoid. I did notice in this stage that they made sure your combo attacks wouldn't throw you off the platforms though. That's a nice feature. I recently reviewed Bolt for the PlayStation 2, and that game had a bad habit of throwing you off of cliffs while using combos. Stage 4, Defend the Palace. This one was a blast. I don't know what hitting these smoke things did, but I think it defeated enemies or knocked them down or something, but whatever. Minus that one dumb feature, I loved all of this. Some guys sneak in and try to steal vases and you beat them up. After a few waves, you can run over to the corner of the palace and reseal the swinging ceiling doors. Reseal the swinging ceiling doors. That's fun to say. Also, ceiling doors? Why would someone install... You know what, never mind. It's fun. After this, go back to beating up more waves of intruders, followed by more ceiling door shenanigans. It's fast-paced and frantic and stupid, and I love it. Best part of the game. Next up, we have the water platforming area, and it's dumb and I quit playing here. Some of these platforms had weird lips that made them difficult to jump on. It's like there's an invisible border or something. I don't really understand what it is. It plays like absolute crap. I had loads of unnecessary deaths here, and I began to worry that the game was getting worse the further in I got. So I quit. Well, that and the whole grocery shopping thing. There are a few other details to this game that are interesting, like the hidden rare coins that unlock extra content. There are one of those per stage. We also have a multiplayer mode that I didn't mess around with. I assume it's a nice feature. I'm always happy to see things like this that can expand the playtime a game offers. The amount of time a game squeezes out of a player can be a real driving force. Games like The Witcher 3 and Skyrim are some of the top games to exist, and it's because there's so much to do and it takes so long to do it all, but it also stays interesting enough to keep us going. The lack of playtime is likely the biggest downfall of this game. In an hour and a half, I completed 4 stages and made it part of the way through stage 5. In a game with only 13 stages, that isn't saying much. 6 to 8 hours of gameplay? That's hard to justify paying full price for. As a whole, this isn't a bad game, but it has some weak points. The combat is repetitive and it stops being fun, but the audio and visuals are so perfect. I also wanted to bring up something from the game manual. It lists a URL where you can go to register the game on Activision's website. That link is no longer there, but I always check. Back around 2000 to 2010, I would always send in the little registration cards or hop online to register games. There were some cool perks for doing this back then. Some companies would send you demo discs, others would invite you to talk about their games online so they could figure out what people did and didn't like. There was some free swag out there for a broke gamer like me to scoop up. I miss that stuff. There are still game devs that keep in touch with their fans. NIS America is the first one that comes to mind, but so many of these little perks are gone now in the slow change to move away from physical games and tangible rewards, and that's too bad. I miss those stupid demo discs and little game packets that would show up in the mail from time to time. Also, check out this little toy insert. Battle Palace playset? That looks cool. Now let's judge this game with my new MiSRB rating system. First, the bad. It's a short game, one of the shortest for the PlayStation 2. The voice effects are repetitive and annoying. Speaking of repetitive, the battle system gets stale fast. Killing me softly with unexpected camera movement is not cool. Squishy obstacles are no me gusta. The funky invisible lips around some of the platforms ruin the game sometimes. Now, they're good. The graphics are some of the best on the console. The voice work is also amazing, not just Poe's voice, but all of the voices. Some of the extra platforming obstacles are a lot of fun, like the balance beams and the ballistas. And finally, the Defend the Palace stage. It freaking rocks. Now that we have all of that figured out, let's give it a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad game, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone either. It's not broken, but it's only a little bit better than bland. Thought that I would enjoy playing this game more than I did, and I have no intentions of ever playing it again.
Retired.
Hey, did you losers find me this time? No, cause you're terrible at this. Keep on sucking. Oh, it's so lame.
Oh, what a jerk. I hate that guy. We've got to find a way to get rid of him. We must stop him. Subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every Thursday. You'll like them. You'll like all of them, especially the bad ones. If you go way back and watch the old ones, ugh, those are cringy. Like, I haven't even been making videos for a year and I'm already just like, oh, those early videos are terrible. And I'm sure in like 9 months I'll be looking back at this video going, ugh, God, I was such a noob back then. But, yeah. Hey, watch that video, click like, subscribe, click on whatever I place right there. You know, I'm not even going to put anything there. I always put the YouTube recommends thing there and let YouTube try to guess what you're going to like. I guess whatever's playing there is what YouTube has decided is on your mind. I don't know. Find out. Have a good day.